This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first guest today is Jessica Luther from Alpena County Library. Good morning, Jessica.
Good morning, Nancy. Good to see you.
Good to see you, and I know things as usual are crazy at Alpena County Library. You always have so many wonderful programs and programming and things for everyone, and you have a really great series coming up.
Yes, we do. February was fantastic for us.
Yes.
And providing these free programs to the community is one of our core missions at the library, and it's exciting for us to keep looking for new things to do. And one of our most exciting things that isn't coming up immediately, but it is coming down the hopper, is we are going to be partnering with the University of Michigan School of Information, and we are bringing a 3-day workshop to the Alpena Library in July. And this workshop, which is scheduled for July 20th to the 22nd, is focusing on maker culture. And what maker culture is, and some people may not know, is it focuses on hands-on working, tinkering, crafting, engineering, and 3D printing, all those fun things that people are really getting involved in. And so this week, we've met with our contacts at the University of Michigan, and we are working on developing what we really think is going to be an impactful and changeful 3 days for the community.
So will this give people who do those things a way to market their products or do their own business? What's the purpose of the event?
It's a lot of that, but it's also introducing the culture itself to people who may not be familiar with it. And it's bringing in, people who are tinkering around with it, but they want to learn more. They want to learn how to succeed a little more and what other products might be out there. And we're going to have professionals brought in by the University of Michigan who are going to work one-on-one with groups.
Wow.
And it is really going to be an exciting 3 days.
Oh yes, and so we're just getting the word out now, but put those dates on your calendar because you'll want to make sure you don't miss this.
Yes, it's July 20th, 21st, and 22nd. It'll be all-day workshops at the library.
Okay, next.
So in the short term, what we have coming up is our children's programming. They are having their American Girl Luncheon, and that is on March 12th.
Okay.
There are 2 seatings for the luncheon. We have a 10 o'clock and a noon. Registration is required by March 7th because this is a very limited seating event, but so popular and so lovely for the kids to do, waiting for spring to come and go have a tea and a brunch and do some crafts with your doll. So you just call the library to register for that.
All right, that sounds like fun.
Then we get a little more serious. The following day, which is Sunday the 13th at 2 o'clock, we're really excited. The Alpena Area Credit Union is partnering with the library and bringing in Cooley Law professor David Bauer. Gary Bauer. And he is going to be starting a monthly series with us, and the first one is Life and Death Planning. So what the purpose of that is just explaining practical legal principles to people who might be a little put off by doing things like that and not want to think about it. And it's perfectly free. It's completely free. He'll be bringing resources and tips, and that's at 2 o'clock on the 13th.
2 o'clock on the 13th, and it only is going to last 1 hour.
Yes.
Okay.
And then March 17th, we have a musician, Lauren Pilon, and she's doing the Living Roots of Music, which is tracing the history of music from ancient times to modern periods using a different variety of instruments. So that's Thursday the 17th.
And what kind of an audience are you thinking that's geared for?
That could be all ages. It might be a little more older children to adults, but she's very, very engaging, and she definitely, it's not that there would be anything inappropriate, but...
Do you have to pre-register for this?
That is open to the public, no registration required. And then in honor of Women's History Month, we have all partnered with the League of Women Voters, and we'll be hosting a local premiere of a film screening and a discussion. And the film screening is a recent film from 2015, and it's about the British suffragette movement.
Okay.
And a discussion will follow that.
We can't say the name of the movie.
We cannot, unfortunately.
But you will be so glad that you're able to come to the screening.
And that is March 20th, also at 2 p.m. And then March 22nd, we have a presentation with the Michigan Department of Insurance and Financial Services, and that is health insurance, what to do when things go wrong. And that offers information on the complaints and appeals process when dealing with your health insurance company. I know a lot of people find that very daunting, that they have to call that 800 number and then they're pushing buttons and they never get to a human being. So this presentation will help people find shortcuts and reasonable ways to help them, because that is such a scary experience when something like that happens. And for that is the 22nd of March at 6:30. You do need to register for that. We do need a minimum head count of 10 people. And that you need to register by March 15th, and that can be done by calling the library or visiting our Facebook page. And the Special Collections Department is going to be hosting a presentation given by Wayne Lusardi, who's our state maritime archaeologist and beloved treasure at the sanctuary. And he's doing a Legacy of the Tuskegee Airmen presentation.
Ooh.
That one, however, we're working on firming up the date and time. So as soon as that is confirmed, we will be making the announcement.
When the people from Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary here talking about that, I was just overwhelmed by what they got to see and the story and the history. So it'll be so wonderful to be able to go to the presentation.
Yes, and Wayne's a wonderful presenter. He did a very abbreviated version for our recent TED event, and it just piqued everyone's interest more. So we're very excited. And then we also, just a reminder, we have the tax aid through the ARP Foundation going on right now, and that is free. And that is Mondays and Saturdays from 10 to noon, and Wednesdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And those are first come, first serve, and they're going through April 11th.
Okay, through April 11th, and remember that if you need any forms, that we have the forms.
Yes, we have booklets and most of the forms, and any question, and our reference desk is happy to help and print any forms you might need.
Okay, and all kinds of other wonderful things we haven't even had time to mention today. So make sure you stop by Alpena County Library and check us out.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Jessica.
Thank you, Nancy.
Please stay tuned. I'll be right back following these messages.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster. I'm president of Alpena Community College, and we're pleased to have as our guest David Cummins, Marine Tech instructor at ACC.
Well, thank you for having me with you this morning, Don.
My pleasure. So, a very interesting industrial device drove by my window yesterday afternoon. It had oceaneering on it, and I'd like you to tell the viewers what that was all about.
We are very excited to accept a donation from Oceaneering International of a larger ROV. What we have is what's called a work-class ROV. And this is the type of robot that typically does most of the work in our oceans, from oil and gas to large research vessels. And we are one of just a handful of schools in the nation to have such a vehicle for our students to work on and learn from.
It looks like a space age type of instrument to me. I mean, what would be the value of it?
One of our big values is for the students to get some more hands-on. So we've been able to, with textbooks and through donations from Oceaneering of some literature and photo and stuff, show students some of these systems. But now they actually be able to see them, and more important to the industry is they'll be able to get wrenches on them and get that feel. How do you take some of these systems apart? How do you actually work on them? And I think that is also what sets this program, and I think ACC, with a lot of the programs different than other colleges, is we give the students a lot more of that hands-on skill sets. And that's now what we're hoping to add to the Marine Tech program with this generous donation.
Very good, and I agree with you. The hands-on part of training is part of ACC's DNA, I think, and it's a good part. So, what would the work-class ROV cost new, do you figure?
So, new, a system like this would probably be between $2 to $5 million. So it is, again, a great donation. And for our viewers that might not have seen any pictures of it, the size of this vehicle is about 5-6 foot tall. So when I stand by it, it's just about my head level. It's about 10 foot long and about 5 foot wide, or size of a smaller minivan, just about as much horsepower. And many systems that we see from industry to some of the most modern robotics. It has some sophisticated hydraulics on it, computer controls, mechanical systems. So one of the great benefits this has is with other classes we teach, we can show the students not just from marine tech, but also in hydraulics, electrical, mechanicals, some of these unique systems and more sophisticated systems. So if they end up getting work in manufacturing, they can understand some of that newer systems that you see on the manufacturing floor and be able to troubleshoot that.
Yeah, that's really exciting stuff. You know, for the viewers who haven't really been tuned into marine tech, the device itself is connected to a tether?
Yeah, so because we cannot send radio waves like your cell phone through water, one of the tests we do in our lab, we'll put a little GoPro camera in water with Wi-Fi, and we get about that far underwater before we lose the communications.
That's interesting.
So still with robots underwater, even a $2 to $5 million robot, we can only communicate through wires. So it has a tether that connects it topside to the controls. And one of the great ones with this donation is a few years back, Oceaneering also donated us a ROV simulator.
I remember.
And we are the only college in the United States to have an industrial ROV simulator. And now what's really exciting with this next donation is that simulator is the actual controls for that robot. So there is a chance over time we might be able to reconnect them and be able to power up subsystems on that robot with our simulator.
Wow, that's exciting. That's really
Yes.
exciting. It's going to be good for the students in the field, or I guess I should say underwater. How deep does this device go when it was working with Oceaneering?
So the one they donated us is one of their smaller work class. They actually make about 2 sizes larger than this one yet. And this one, as older system, is rated to about 6,000 to 7,000 feet underwater. Some of the newer systems can go almost twice that. Still, for the Great Lakes, that's any spot in the Great Lakes that would be able to go down.
So more than this would do work on the ocean floor a mile underwater.
Yes.
Wow.
One of the questions I get is, are we planning at ACC be able to deploy this robot?
Mm-hmm.
The quick answer is no. Several reasons why is, one, in the Great Lakes, we just don't have a vessel really capable of carrying or launching it. We have a few vessels, our larger research vessels might be able to hold the robot on, but none of them have a crane really able to lift and lower the robot in the water. And the other one is the dangers around the student. It is an extremely high voltage robot. We're talking between 2,000 to 3,000 volts electricity. And as an educational institute where we want students to learn from their mistakes, that is a mistake they can't walk away from, so we do not ever plan on powering up that system.
Yes. Yes, we want them to learn hands-on, but we want them to survive it and be able to move on and
Yes.
have careers. Yes, for sure. That's wise. But it will be a wonderful addition to the program, and it will allow students to get their hands on a device that if they go to work for Oceaneering, they'll be working on.
And more than just Oceaneering is the subsystems in this robot are similar to stuff used all over the marine field, from autonomous underwater vehicles to systems shipboard, to a lot of the subsystems are really close to what we see on land too. So once they almost using it more as a system, once they learn the system, it gives them a system to learn on in that holistic approach. Then it'll be easier for the students to adapt to a new system, realizing that, okay, once I learn this one's similar to that, it's just different these ways.
Well, that's exciting stuff, David. Thank you, and thank you for organizing it and orchestrating it with Oceaneering. It's a great step forward for your program and for the college. We appreciate it. And thank you for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your hosts, Nancy Smitham and Don McMaster. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on the community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.
The Talk of the Town furniture and set design are provided by Young Appliance Art Van Furniture on US 23 South in Alpena.